Up next in the category of diversity training, we have the Wilson Organization, led by Managing Director Lawrence Wilson. Wilson says he's earned the credibility it takes to train business clients on issues around diversity, equality, and inclusion, not only from his wide range of experience in both corporate and nonprofit realms, but because he identifies as Black and Native American and can relate stories of racism and prejudice firsthand. In 2018, he formed the Wilson Organization with the goal of helping his clients reduce systemic bias and achieve greater diversity and inclusion within their workforces. His clients are mostly mid-sized organizations such as banks, law firms, colleges in Rhode Island, Connecticut, and southeastern Massachusetts. Wilson typically coaches senior management as well as offering seminars and workshops for middle management. Let's hear from Lawrence directly in our next video.
I was asked the question, how have the recent events surrounding the protests and riots affected the way my team and I at the Wilson Organization approach diversity and anti-bias training in companies, in organizations, and maybe even around the dinner table? Let me try to get at that by sharing a short story. My mother died at 101 years of age just a few years ago. She was born in the same slave cabin that her grandparents occupied while they were slaves on the plantation 40 miles south of Charleston, South Carolina. What does that say? Well, it really says that Black and brown people did not advance very far at all from the time that Abraham Lincoln decided to go to Ford's Theater that night until the 1964 Civil Rights Act. There was little progress. Yes, slavery ended, but a different kind of slavery took its place. The whips and chains were gone, but there was resentment and oppression of the freed slaves. There were the horrors of Jim Crow, the imperfections of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. So the injustices continued, you see, and they continued even after 1964, even to today, where we have conscious and unconscious bias, we have microaggressions, we have the passive acceptance of policies that advantage whites and disadvantage Blacks and browns and even LGBTQ. So why was there such little progress? Why is it that the toxic stress and the trauma, the social injustices of, say, George Floyd or Breonna Taylor or Trayvon Martin, why were those issues allowed to exist? Well, it's because they don't remain on the public radar screen for very long at all. And they can be illuminated temporarily, but when they fade, we realize that they weren't on the screen long enough to grab the attention in a prolonged way. The people of power, the majority cultures, the agents of social change. That's a real problem and challenge to the Wilson Organization as we help clients improve their diversity footprint and engage in anti-bias training. Because you see, for some clients, when the George Floyd lamp goes out, their priority may shift as well. They may come to a conclusion that maybe diversity training isn't as central to their core business as they thought. That's a challenge for my company, to try to keep them interested, passionate, and excited. But the good news is that happens to a relatively few number of clients. The fact of the matter is, I have more clients whose passion increases when the lights go out and the radar screen grows dim. Their passion increases almost to the point to match my passion. It's a wonderful thing, and I'm grateful for that. Thank you.